Wendy had earned her reputation the hard way, across 17 star systems. Her name was whispered with equal parts fear and respect. She was a Craxian bred on a world where the gravity crushed bones, where the atmosphere burned lungs, where predators hunted in packs of 30. Her species had clawed their way to sentience through sheer, bloody determination. In the Galactic Coalition, she was an anomaly. Most species hailed from garden worlds' gentle gravities, temperate climates, herbivorous evolutionary paths. They looked at Wendy with her reinforced exoskeleton, her forearms ending in razor-sharp claws, her rows of serrated teeth, and they stepped back. They gave her contracts no one else would take. Rescue missions on toxic worlds, retrieval operations in war zones. Once, she'd walked into a collapsing reactor core to save a crew of Pilarian engineers. Her natural radiation resistance the only thing standing between them and annihilation. She thought she understood what it meant to be a Deathworlder. She thought she was alone at the top of that terrible pyramid. Then she met Jack. The distress call had come from a mining station on Kepler 440b, a tidally locked planet where one side roasted under eternal sunlight and the other froze in permanent darkness. Pirates had taken the station, holding 100 workers hostage. The Coalition's response had been typical: debate, committee meetings, risk assessments. Wendy had taken the contract and gone alone. She'd fought through 12 of the pirates, her claws singing through the corridors, when she found him in the station's central hub. He was human, a species she'd heard of but never encountered. They were newcomers to the Coalition, barely a decade since first contact. She knew 3 things about them. They came from a world called Earth. They were considered moderately dangerous, and they bred like tunnel rats. Jack stood among the bodies of 30 pirates. He wasn't wearing armor, just a torn pressure suit and magnetic boots. Blood covered his knuckles, his own and others. One of his arms hung at an odd angle, clearly broken. He'd fashioned a weapon from a broken pipe, and he held it like he knew exactly how to use it. "You're late," he said, his voice rough. "They started executing hostages. I couldn't wait." Wendy's combat instinct screamed warnings. This human had just done what should have been impossible. Pirates were Vexither, a warrior species with natural armor plating and neural redundancies. Killing one in single combat was difficult. Killing 30 was something from a combat simulation. "You did this alone?" she asked, her translator rendering her growl into Coalition standard. Jack shrugged with his good shoulder. "Wasn't going to let them kill innocents. You must be the cavalry." He looked her up and down, taking in her formidable appearance without flinching. "Craxian, right? I've read about your world. Sounds rough." Wendy's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. "My world has gravity 3 times. Coalition standard. The atmosphere is toxic to most species. The largest predator on my planet masses for 1,000 kilograms and hunts in the canopy." "Huh." Jack stepped over a pirate's body, favoring his left leg. "Earth's gravity is about 1.2 times standard. We've got predators too, though most of the really big ones died out. Tigers, bears, crocodiles, they'll mess you up if you're not careful. Plenty of venomous things. Spiders, snakes, jellyfish. That can kill you with a touch." Wendy felt something unfamiliar, curiosity mixed with wariness. "Your world is classified as a death world? Class 12, last I checked." Jack moved toward the hostages, who were huddled in a corner. "You folks okay? Medical teams coming." Wendy knew the classification system. Class 12 was higher than most Coalition worlds. But Craxia was Class 15, firmly in the extreme range. Only 17 known worlds rated that high. "How did you kill 30 Vexither?" she asked, following him. Jack glanced back, and she saw something in his eyes, something that reminded her of her own reflection. "I'm a mining engineer. Before that, I did 8 years in the Earth Defense Force. Special operations." He said it casually, like it was nothing. "But honestly, I just got really angry. They shot a kid, 12-year-old Pilarian girl. She survived, but..." He trailed off, jaw clenching. That's when Wendy understood. Humans weren't built like Craxians. They didn't have natural weapons or armor. Their world was deadly, yes, but not in the same overwhelming way. They were softer, more vulnerable. But they had something else, something she recognized because she had it too. They refused to quit. Over the following hours, as coalition security forces arrived and the situation resolved, Wendy watched Jack. He'd refused medical attention until every hostage was treated. His broken arm was set with a basic field splint that made her wince in sympathy. She knew that kind of pain when a young Pelarian child cried for her parents. Jack sat with her despite his injuries, telling her stupid jokes until she laughed. "Your people," Wendy said finally, as they waited for transport. "They're all like this." Jack smiled, tired and pained. "You should meet my sister. She's a deep-sea rescue diver. Works in pressure suits at depths that would crush most ships. Or my cousin Maria, she's a firefighter. Runs into burning buildings while everyone else runs out." "But why? Why?" Jack looked genuinely confused by the question. "Because someone has to. Because we can. Because..." He paused, searching for words. "Earth taught us that nothing's going to save you except you. No cavalry's coming. No gods are intervening. If you want to survive, you fight. If you want to protect others, you fight harder." Wendy's translator struggled with the next sound. She made something between a laugh and a battle. "Cry. We're going to be friends, human." "Jack," he corrected, extending his good hand. "My name's Jack." She gripped it carefully, her claws retracted. His hand was small in hers, fragile seeming. "But she'd seen what those hands could do, Wendy," she replied. "And Jack, next time you plan to fight 30 pirates alone, call me first. Deal? Though next time, try not to be late." As their transport arrived, Wendy felt something shift in her worldview. She'd spent years thinking she stood alone on the pyramid of Deathworld survivors. But maybe she'd just been waiting for someone who understood. Humans, she decided, were going to be very interesting additions to the galaxy. And she suspected the galaxy had no idea what was coming.